Minutes to speak, and within that 6 minutes from your third and fourth minutes, that is when POIs are allowed, and I'll raise my book to indicate it's time for POIs. And then your last minutes, I'll do this to let you know that you have 1 minute left, and once I clap, that means your time is over. So today's topic, permanently to stabilize Nigeria's economy. This is a timely and important topic as Nigeria continues to grapple with, complex economic challenges, including inflation, fiscal deficits, and energy sector inefficiencies. However, fuel subsidy has long been a contentious issue, seen by some as necessary social support for citizens and by others as a costly policy that distorts the economy and the benefits of the few over the many. The proposition will argue that the permanent removal of fuel subsidy is essential for long-term economic stability, increased government revenue, and investment in critical infrastructure. Then the opposition, on the other hand, will contend that such is more or may exacerbate hardship for millions of Nigerians. However you put it, I stay as a neutral moderator. My name is Maimune Isa, and yes, when you're ready, just let me know. And I encourage both sides to present their arguments with clarity, evidence, and respect. Let's aim to explore not only the economic dimensions, but also human and social implications of this policy decision. Thank you.
Anambra, are you here?
What's the whole topic? This particular people.
Anambra, can we see your team? Let's see your video. Let's see the video of your team. Okay, good. Okay, Abia is here. Anambra, can we see your team, Anambra? Anambra, your team, are they a ghost team?
Hi, we are here. We have one speaker on cam as necessary for the speeches.
No, let's see all your speakers. It's blurred. Let's see everybody. I want to see everybody. Okay, they are all in different places, right?
No, we are together at the same place. Don't worry.
So let's see them. We are only seeing one of the speakers. Remove that blur background. Just let's see everybody. Yes, one. The second one is what? Okay, good. Leave it this way. Leave it this way. Leave it this way. Don't blur that thing again. Good. Perfect. Good.
Then one observation before we start this. The time we're supposed to know the time. Many times are they using the speaker? They're not telling us. We're supposed to know.
6 minutes now.
Five minutes, but we don't know how many times they used. We don't know when. We don't. You understand? We're supposed to know.
Abia or not.
Memuna.
Yes.
So the thing is that when everybody is done speaking, please mention the time they spent for each speech, so that the judge will note it down. But it's part of their point scoring.
All right.
So let's start the debate. Fast.
Okay. First proposing speaker, please. Let's have you. Are you ready? Your time starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If fuel subsidy is completely removed, it will stabilize Nigeria's economy. But how is a question that lingers in everyone's mind.
Hold on.
Panel of judges.
Do you have motions?
We're not supposed to read it.
Team Anambra.
Memona, read the motions out now.
Yes, I did.
Again, read it again.
Then we need to know their names.
Don't read the
Speakers' names.
call the name of
This
that debate.
remove fuel subsidies permanently to stabilize Nigeria's economy.
Again.
This house would remove fuel subsidies permanently to stabilize Nigeria's economy.
So all the speakers, when you want to start your debate, please introduce your name so that the judges will note it down from the list, from the score, please. Very important. Go ahead. Well, let's start the debate.
Okay, your time starts in 5.
Sorry. Hello. Sorry. Thank you. I wanted to ask, can we write the speakers' names and their roles in the chat so that the speakers the introduction doesn't get into the speakers' time for speaking?
Can you do that?
It's part of the time.
It's part of timing. The judge said no. So go ahead and.
Okay, your time starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If fuel subsidy is completely removed, it will stabilize Nigeria's economy. But how is the question that lingers in everyone's mind. Good day, the panel of judges, my accurate timekeeper, my distinguished audience, and my fellow debaters. My name is Joan Makamwazui, and I'm here to support or propose the motion that if fuel subsidy is permanently removed, it will stabilize Nigeria's economy. But I can't dive into today's topic without actually making you understand this concept. What is fuel subsidy? Fuel subsidy is the financial assistance program granted by the government that helps lower the price of fuel, making it easier for consumers to have access to. Then, what is fuel subsidy removal? Fuel subsidy removal is the decision taken by the government to end the financial assistance given that lowers the price of fuel, making it rise to market levels and making it harder for consumers to have access to. So the question is, what are the potential benefits that will come with the removal of fuel subsidy? Number 1, increased governmental revenue. Fuel subsidy is a major drain in governmental funds. So if we're able to free up these funds, it will help us to treat significant resources. Number 2, fiscal space for investment. Take, for instance, countries like Dubai, UK, they are very developed. But Nigeria is one of the poorest countries. Why should this be so? If we're able to remove fuel subsidy, which was allegedly said that it never existed, we'll be able to save up funds to chase or invest in other basic amenities, like human capital development, such as education, healthcare, and infrastructures, such as good roads, better electricity, and greater amenities in school facilities. But because we have not been able to remove these fuel subsidies, we haven't been able to dig into these specific holes and fill them up. So we as Nigerians need to remove this fuel subsidy and make Nigeria a better place. Number 3, improve transparency. We aren't even sure where our money is going to. We do not know the main place where our monies are allocated to. So why should this be so? Let there be a more transparent distribution of petroleum, like recommended by the World Bank, to make a critical use of our fund effectively. Remove this fuel subsidy. The money saved up could be used to invest in Nigeria, make Nigeria a very attractive place for investment. Foreign investors will come in, invest in Nigeria, make Nigeria a better place. Nigeria wouldn't be known as one of the poorest countries. Our names will be heard all over the world. In conclusion, I know that removing fuel subsidy will have its short-term disadvantage, but the long-term benefit is greater. Join me to agree that fuel subsidy should be removed. Thank you.
Okay. Can we have first speaker from opposition?
What time? How many minutes did the speaker use?
She spent 4 minutes. Hold on. 4 minutes, 29 seconds.
Our time actually says 3 minutes, 29 seconds.
3 minutes.
Yes.
Did you start immediately when she started? Did you start timing immediately when she started timing? When she started talking?
Please, I would advise we leave off for the moderator, please. Debaters, you don't have a say here. Let the moderator do the job. Thank you. All right? Otherwise, you will be penalized. Thank you.
First speaker from opposition, are you ready? Your time starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, my time starts when I'm ready. Thank you. So can we rewind?
5, 4, 3.
Time. Sorry, please. My time starts. I begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Permanent removal of a fuel subsidy is a reform that is unrealistic, economically cruel, and myopic in nature. I'm Catherine, lead speaker, opposition. Permanent removal of fuel subsidy serves as an indirect blow to the government and a disruption to the daily living of an average Nigerian citizen. Stabilizing the Nigerian economy is a procedure that requires careful planning, adequate preparation, and all-round transparency. Now, panel, what problem is this motion trying to solve? It's trying to solve the issues that associate the drawbacks with the fuel subsidy. Rather than permanent removal, we have opted to address a structural issue, in essence, corruption. Now, our method of tackling this is twofold. Firstly, we choose to reinforce governmental organizations, such as the ICPC, to reduce the extent that corruption causes financial instability where the fuel subsidy is concerned. Secondly, we choose to digitalize the economy to offer more transparency, thereby curbing corruption and every other central issue that causes economic unrest. I'll state my 3 substantive arguments. In my first argument, I'll show you how fuel subsidies are a focal point in the life of an average Nigerian. I'll then go on to show you how instability in governments does not equal its elimination. And finally, I'll show you how the removal of fuel subsidy clashes with Nigeria's poor infrastructure and technological capacity. My second speaker will elaborate on how permanent removal of fuel subsidy actually serves to destabilize the economy and do the opposite. And my third speaker will follow up on that. Fuel subsidies are focal points in the life of an average Nigerian citizen. Now, who is the average Nigerian citizen? An average Nigerian citizen is a hard-working citizen struggling to survive in a system that gives almost little to nothing in return. They live on low to middle income, depend on public transport, and live in rented homes that rely on small petroleum generators for electricity. They work in the informal sector, where they toil for long hours with inconsistent pay. Sudden removal will only result in higher living costs as Nigerians struggle to cater for their transportation and food as these costs become unaffordable. The 2012 and 2025 subsidy removals caused the price in fuel to double overnight, going from 198 naira to a whopping 1,025 naira per litre, over 450% increase. Now, proposition may see that billions that go to health and education go into maintaining artificially cheap fuel. But we say this. Reports show that 58% of Nigerians actually prefer to re-implement the subsidy at the expense of education and health. So these people are actually willing to forego their hospitals and fuels just to maintain this lowered cost. Proposition should check this. A policy that destroys small businesses is not reform, it is regression. The average Nigerian is not the wealthy politician or oil executive. is the teacher, the street vendor, the hawker, the bus driver. When you implement a subsidy like this, when you increase the fuel price, you increase the price of living itself. And for millions that live on the edge already, this is not reform. This is ruin. Secondly, instability in governments does not equal elimination. Now, opposition may say that fuel subsidies encourage corruption, but we say this. The subsidy itself is not the issue. The issue is in how it's managed. Nigeria should opt to strengthen its transparency and monitoring so the subsidy can truly serve citizens rather than strain the economy. The citizens already have a deep distrust in the government due to the stream of broken palliative and promises that the governments have made. These citizens wait in anticipation to receive things that are supposed to have been promised to them, the things that are supposed to have been given to them ages ago. A subsidy removal will only deepen the resentment within the citizens, increase poverty and chaos in society. Finally, the removal of a subsidy clashes with the poor infrastructure and technological capacity of Nigeria. Now, the proposition may see that increased prices in fuel will actually serve providing an incentive for Nigeria to invest in green growth and renewables. Well, let us tell you this. Nigeria is in recession. In fact, Nigeria is the very definition of the force of gravity because the currency itself depreciates. Nigeria depends so heavily on oil revenue that it will be difficult for it to shift its focus on renewables and green growth and reduce its focus on fossil fuels. Nigeria's infrastructure lacks the capability for green energy. With its unstable grids, outdated power stations, and frequent blackouts, which makes integration impossible. And the resources for this integration don't fall from the sky. Upfront investment has to be made. And Nigeria's borrowing cost is already high. And investors will see this sector as risky because Nigeria is not a worthy stakeholder. For investors to make a move, they must see worthy matter, not the recluse that's Nigeria's economy. So in conclusion to this, the solution is not permanent removal. It is permanent transparency, legitimacy, and relevance within the Nigerian economy. So with this, we are proud to say that Prop has woefully, undeniably, and utterly lost this debate.
Okay, thank you. She spent 5 minutes, 45 seconds. Can we have the second host speaker? Your time starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nigeria, as one of the top 3 world poorest countries, can simply not survive with the 4 subsidies as it's currently being. Good day, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, my co-debaters, and my esteemed audience. My name is Shide Bubiokwechi, and I'm here to proudly support the motion. This House should not should permanently remove 4 subsidies in Nigeria for the economical stability. I'll be doing this in 3 main points: financial saving and budget clarity, more efficient resource use and reduce corruption, and long-term growth and investments. According to budget, a research was done in 2022 showing that Nigeria's 4 subsidy rate has increased by 1,452%. That is an incredible skyrocket. From 2006, it was 257.36 billion. Now it is currently 4 trillion. That's just it's inhumane. We cannot keep on going with this. We cannot. This money that we pay every year, 4 trillion naira, is even more than the budget that we have for health. If we remove fuel subsidies permanently, we can distribute that 4 trillion naira into more desperate factions and faculties of Nigeria, like health, transport, and education. These are 3 main factors of Nigeria that really need the 4 trillion naira that we are wasting every single year on fuel subsidies. My second point, more efficient resource use and reduce corruption. A study by the Overseas Development Institute in 2018 showed that Nigeria used $3.9 billion every year on fuel subsidies. as I said before, that is inhumane. It's not sustainable to keep doing things like this. This money could have been used in developing public schools. It could have been used in developing roads. It could have been used in developing government buses. It could have been used in employing more staff in the government institutions. And it could have been used in just further development for Nigeria. Another point shows that in 2023, there was a subsidy removal, and the energy research letters showed that in the smuggling between states, between border states, reduced by 13.9%, and the smuggling between non-border states reduced by 27.3%. I don't know about you, but that's clear proof that removing fuel subsidies helps in curbing corruption and smuggling. My third point that I want to bring out is long-term growth and investment. Having fuel subsidies helps us. They say having fuel subsidies helps us in managing the economy, but that's not feasible. Removing fuel subsidies will hit us in the short run, yes, but in the long term, we hope in development plans and improvement. With these points I have made, I hope you have understand.
May I ask the POI?
Yes.
Is it fair for a market reform to succeed only after millions fall into deeper poverty? Yes or no?
Can you say that again?
Is it fair for a market reform to succeed only after millions of people fall into deeper poverty? Yes or no?
If you're saying removing what hurts the poor, that might seem true. But if the government channels this money into different plans like development programs, homeless shelters, and different and etc., it will help the country in the long run by having them not being homeless people on the streets, them being a mental institution for the mad people that you see walking around, and there being rehab centers for those people that do drugs. Any other question? Thank you. Now, I will conclude by saying removing fuel subsidies frees up massive funds for national development. It reduces corruption and waste in system, and it promotes long-term development in Nigeria. Thank you. I rest my case.
Thank you. Second opposition speaker used 4 minutes, 50 seconds. And a quick reminder, please, when you want to ask a POI, you don't shout POI, you just simply raise your hand. We can clearly see you. You don't shout it, you raise your hand like this. Thank you. Now, second.
Before speakers, please, we'd like to see your video. We don't want you to be reading a script for us there. We want the naturalness. So the speaker, please, let's see you as you speak. Thank you. Don't put off your video. Let's see you as you speak. We don't want speakers reading script for us there. Thank you.
Okay, second proposing speaker. Your time starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Please excuse me, please wait, sorry. I begin my speech in 3, 2.
Sorry, hold on. You can't do that. When I say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you just start talking. You keep wasting so much time. Your time is counting already. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Inhumane. Panel. Throughout the course of today's debate, Team Probation has started to link Nigeria's unstable economy to fuel subsidies. And then they are saying that the permanent removal of fuel subsidies equals immediate stability of the Nigerian government. But we on Team Opposition will be showing you how that logic is totally flawed. But before my name is Jennifer, and I am the first supporting speaker, Team Opposition. But before any of that, let me quickly address some of the claims that Team Probation made in today's debate. First of all, Team Probation claims that fuel subsidies can't cost Nigerians trillions of naira annually. And then the removal of these fuel subsidies
We can't hear you.
will equals to infix. Hospitals automatically have equipment, and this is not true. Because let's be real, in our country today, this money will still go into private pockets of people. If this government today mismanage subsidies, they will still mismanage subsidies, the savings from subsidies. And even if we decide to say, okay, now this money can be used for implementation of proper healthcare, proper infrastructure, right? So now this now limits the principle of choice for people. Because I, as a person, I have the choice to choose whether I want to go to a federal healthcare center or a private healthcare center. What does this look like? Let's compare world. In Team Proposition's world, there is no fuel subsidies, right? But what does that mean? I am poorer, and then I have no choice but to go towards public healthcare center, which I might not be comfortable with, and which, in the sense that the facilities of these healthcare centers can be questioned. Team Proposition also claimed that the subsidy system is filled with corruption when we have fake importers and the rest of them. Yes, we on Team Opposition agree to that, but what we do not agree to is their logic. Removal of subsidy doesn't equal to removal of corruption. These subsidy tips to just find another way to steal our money. Team Proposition also claimed that other countries such as Dubai have achieved success through removal of subsidies. But panel, as that 2023 May, President Tinubu removed fuel subsidies, and what has happened? The economy has crumbled. Fuel prices have skyrocketed, and the naira has collapsed. And then what happened after that? Government quickly rushed to introduce palliatives, and these palliatives really never reached anybody. And this is what Prop wants us to believe. Nigeria has tried this, and it has failed woefully. So the question today is, why are we so against the motion at hand? 3 substantive points here. 1, permanent removal of subsidy kills our transition into green energy by creating economic chaos. 2, permanent removal will increase national debt and economic budget, not reduce it. My first substantive point, permanent removal kills our transition into green energy by creating economic chaos. Team Proposition might probably tell you that, okay, removing subsidies will help green energy. But let me show you how that thought is backward. Green energy requires investment. When I'm saying investment, I mean solar infrastructure, wind farms, battery techs, etc. And these investments are expensive. So now here's the real problem. When we permanently remove fuel subsidies, what happens? 1, investment dries up. Businesses are in shock, and then they can't really invest in these green alternatives. And then foreign investors have to flee at the end. May I take your POI? 2, government has no money for green energy because these monies are put in palliatives, managing protests, and so on and so forth. What else happens? People get poorer and not richer. And when people are poor, they cannot afford these green alternatives. And lastly, we become more oil dependent. Without subsidies, we still have to pay for fuel, just that we pay more for it. As of now, Nigeria still imports refined petroleum, and we depend on oil, and that's very wrong. So now, what do we see on Team Opposition? What's our plan? What is our path to green energy? Listen, first, we stabilize the economy. And how are we doing that? Through a mechanism of action that my lead speaker mentioned earlier. Second of all, we invest subsidy reforms into saving for renewable infrastructure. Then we gradually shift people to these alternatives. And then lastly, we build refineries. So we cannot build a green economy on an economic collapse. This simply means that the logic that Team Proposition has today in this debate is totally flawed. My second substantive point, permanent removal will increase national debt and not remove it. In Team Proposition's world, we are borrowing too much money on subsidies. But what exactly happens after we permanently remove these subsidies? The government will have to borrow even more money. 1, they have to manage social unrest. 2, they have to cover economic contractions, and they will have to import more and more fuel simply because importing becomes more expensive, and this strains our foreign reserves. Let's not even talk about the hidden economic costs that the government still have to cover. We have unemployment crisis, healthcare costs rise, and brain drain. Let me quickly give you a comparative analysis. In Team Preparation's world, we remove subsidies forever, and we endure economic shock and chaos, waiting for a hope that one day things will get better. But in our world, we acknowledge that these subsidies have problems, and then we try to fix these problems from the roots, and then we do not agree to mass suffering and civil unrest. Rather, we reform the system. So panel, because we offer evidence and reality, and then because we refuse to gamble with the lives of people, let this motion fall. Thank you.
Okay, second proposing speaker used 5 minutes 37 seconds. Can we have the third opposing speaker. Third opposing speaker, yes. Your time starts in. Can you unmute so we can? 5, 4, 3.
Removal of fuel subsidy has become an intriguing topic in today's discussion. My opponents, you made mention of linking Nigeria. You made mention of you have the choice to choose between a federal hospital and a private hospital. Please, I would like to ask, is fuel subsidy all about class? No. Removal of fuel subsidy helps everyone in general, regardless of who you are, because we are all suffering it. Now, how are we suffering it? We go on our daily basis, we hear the prices of things, the outrageous prices of goods and services that are being provided to us, and it is not fair. We have the right to say, you said that, okay, fine and good, you have the right to choose between a federal or a private hospital. What about those who are underprivileged, that don't have the ability to go to private hospitals like you do? That's where the government comes in, the provision of healthcare services. How can we provide healthcare services when we are paying 4 trillion naira for subsidy? Is that not outrageous, like my co-debater said? That's going overboard. That's like very much overboard. That's overboard. Because that 4 trillion naira can be invested into so many things: the healthcare sector, the education sector, and the rural areas will equally benefit. How would they benefit? Healthcare sector. We have federal, we have private, we have state and hospitals. They are not functioning properly. Either that doctors are using the Japa syndrome and is being left behind, or equipment are not being managed properly and they're spoiling. In the education sector, we all know that we have more private schools than public schools. If the government is able to use that 4 trillion naira and invest it to things like healthcare, education, they will be able to help us. My name is Ono Hafiba Daisy, and I'm here to propose on the topic that states fuel subsidy should be permanently removed to stabilize the Nigerian economy. And I'm strongly believing that fuel subsidy should be totally removed, because it is not only going to help the poor, but it's equally going to help the rich, because everybody is suffering it. There's nobody in Nigeria that you ask, oh, how are you? And they'll not start telling you stories on how maybe the fuel prices are high, or the goods or the maybe bag of rice is high. Shall I tell you when we used to buy December products, December things? We start buying it in March, because once you reach around October, things have skyrocketed. You cannot even buy for yourself. Okay, I'm a teenager, I'm a girl. Obviously, I like wearing trousers. How can I buy for myself cargo jeans? Where around October, November, they're not saying it's 32,000 naira, it is 40,000 naira, it is 45,000 naira. That's why we prefer buying things around March. So by that time, around March time, things have reduced, the prices of things are not like down. Price of things are down. But once you reach around that time, things are high, like to the sky high. So I don't understand. How would you say fuel subsidy is not meant to be removed when we are all facing a problem? Poverty is what we are facing. No matter whether you're rich or poor, everybody's poor. Please, let us just come together and agree that yes, fuel subsidy has touched everybody's hand, that wound everybody. Let us remove it. Let us know where our problem is. In the past, there were fuel subsidies. Yes, you have a question. You have a question, please.
Yes. Can a hungry man wait for long-term economic impact? Yes or no? Can a hungry man wait for long-term economic impact? Yes or no?
As long as you've waited for it since the past, obviously you can wait. It's not as if fuel subsidy has not been there for a very long time. It has been there since they even gave birth to us. It has been there even before cell phones came into existence. Like in the past, like There have been things in the past like that have been outrageous. Now we're even suffering it more. Can we say the same bag of rice our parents bought when they were still children is the same amount we still buy now? Can we say that, oh, $1 is equal to 1 naira? It's not. In the past, things were the same. So if let's say I'm a hungry man and they say they have removed fuel subsidy and it will take time, obviously I will wait because I have chopped before. Obviously I will be ready to chop better. Thank you. In conclusion, I would like to say that fuel subsidy should totally be removed in order to help Nigeria's economy. Thank you.
Okay. The third proposing speaker used 5 minutes, 20 seconds. Can we have the third opposing speaker? Third opposing speaker, your time starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So permanent removal triggers an immediate and irreversible chain reaction of hardship in the community. I am Vivian, rebuttal speaker of Team Opposition. So panel, basically what we get from Team Proposition's team is that they tell us things like removal of first subsidy is going to increase government revenue. They're going to use it to do things like build infrastructures, build hospitals, build roads, and blah, blah, blah. But we think that is a joke because on the contrast, it is going to cause catastrophic social costs. Now, why do I say this, panel? Increase in fuel price will increase other goods and services directly, things like transport, things like food, things like electricity. And this is going to affect the vast majority of Nigerians. Because get this, Nigerians are made up of a vast majority of poor and middle class people. These people run SMEs, they run small and medium, and they rely on affordable goods and services, something that removal of fuel subsidy is going to take away. And we said that to that word we oppose. But then again, they told us things like in their world, they're going to improve transparency because then we'll no longer be siphoning money. But we said that our model proves that there will be better transparency on our side. When we say things like we're going to digitalize our economy and we are going to reinforce government organizations like ICPC. So we said that on the clash of transparency, we win on our word. But then again, they said things like the subsidy is unsustainable and crimes like smuggling will be increased. But I asked this very simple question. Should we sacrifice 200 million Nigerians for a few thousand smugglers? But then again, smuggling ties down to the problem of corruption, which we are meant to solve, not removing for subsidy. On that part, we say that the government should try to apprehend these smugglers and end the problem of corruption, not removing for subsidy as a coward way of escaping the problem of corruption. But then again, the third speaker from Team Proposition misinterpreted my second speaker when she said that when she talked about our principle of choice. So panel gets this. When we are talking of principle of choice, we are saying things like when we remove fuel subsidy, private organizations may not be able to function as usual, meaning that citizens will have to rely on public amenities only. And that is bad because if things go south, there may not be a way to mitigate the issue. And then, panel, we ask that if they are saying that fuel subsidy is the disease, then they're misdiagnosing the patient. The real disease here is refinery abdication and corruption. This is a situation like in status quo when government has failed to provide refineries for our countries to refine their oils. Now this is bad because Nigeria is an oil producing gas station nation. We produce oil and then we export it to foreign countries and then we import it back at a higher rate and sell it at higher cost for our citizens. This is not meant to be so, and that is why the subsidy exists in the first place. Government failed in that aspect of their duty, and so they are compensating us by giving us the subsidy. And this is the main reason why our economy is going to be a little bit stable. But then get the analogy. This is just like you have a leaky roof, and then water is pouring down into your living room and ruining your sofa. Do you end the problem by taking away the sofa? Taking away the sofa means you're choosing to live with a wet floor and a ruined sofa. I'll get to POI later. With a wet floor and a ruined sofa. A good government will fix the roof. And for that, we say fix the refineries. Fix the refineries so that we'll no longer be able to export our oils. And in that case, we will not have the problem of having to subsidize. May I have a POI? No POI. Then again, the sequence argument. Panel, we say that opposition's word is not only inhumane, immoral, but it's also oppressive to the poor, which are the vast majority of Nigerians. Because they tell us things like, we asked, can a hungry man wait for long-term economic costs? And their response was yes. How? How are we going to follow them? It means that we want to kill the vast majority of Nigerians, because the vast majority of Nigerians are the poor, hungry men we are talking about in status quo, meaning that their world is going to be inherently oppressive to the poor, and we say for shame to that world. But then again, they don't provide us an alternative to mitigate the amount of shock that removing fuel subsidy at this point in time is going to cause. Because right now in status quo, Nigeria's reality does not have the capability to mitigate the kind of shock that removing fuel subsidy is going to cause. Meaning that we'll have things like economic disasters, and if we tend to have things like global crisis, we're going to fall into a really big problem, and their world does not solve it. Where is the efficient mass transit to serve as an alternative? Where is the foundation of trust they're meant to build with their citizens? Then again, where is the robust safety net that's supposed to catch the vulnerable? They don't provide any of this, meaning that this is just like a bill that demanding final payments without even laying the foundation. They're asking us to make a painful and permanent sacrifice based on a promise. The promise is even the biggest joke, because this is a promise they've made for decades now. They have promised us good infrastructure. As a matter of fact, as of 2023, President Tinubu promised us that he will take the money for subsidy and put it in infrastructure. Currently, we are seeing none of that. They have little or nothing to show for it. Meaning that once again, they're giving us a facade of a solution, and we refuse to fall into that trap. So why do we win this debate? We win this debate because on side proposition, they give us assertions. They tell us things like they will channel it into infrastructures. They will have better transparency on their side. But we have shown you how our world not only proves how that does not materialize, but how we are going to stabilize it better on our part. But then again, we prove to you the disasters that are going to come from removing fuel subsidy now. Because we tell you things like catastrophic social costs. We tell you why they ignore the root causes, which is refinery abdication. Panel, you cannot cure a fever simply by breaking the thermometer. It's not possible. We believe that team proposition should face reality. Running away from corruption and their responsibility by choosing to remove fuel subsidy is cowardice, a government we refuse to support. And for that, we are proud to oppose. Thank you.
The third opposing speaker used 5 minutes, 50 seconds. So now we are going to have our reply speeches. You can choose whoever you want to give your reply speech. And reply speech, we're going to start with opposition. Reply speech takes just 2 minutes. So have you chosen who is going to give your reply speech? Opposition. Okay, your time starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Panel, in less than 2 minutes, I'm going to be showing why team proposition has woefully failed to make any substantive points in today's debate. Team proposition's arguments can simply be defined in one word: 4 trillion naira. Team proposition argues that money can be used in infrastructure, but we on team proposition said that this money will still be mismanaged by government, and this simply doesn't make sense. Team proposition also went on and on about corruption and saying that removal of these subsidies will equals removal of corruption and equals stability in our economy. But that simply doesn't make any sense, because the removal of permanently removing subsidies doesn't equal stabilizing the Nigerian economy. We on team proposition made the following arguments. 1, we said that permanent subsidy removal kills our transition into green energy, and team proposition did not try to rebut that at all. Secondly, we also said that permanent removal will increase national debt and economic burden. They did not even try to defend that at all. We also said that fuel subsidies act as a focal point in the daily life of an average person. They did not even touch that point. We also mentioned that instability in government doesn't equal elimination. Same proposition did not even try to counter any of our substantive arguments brought in today's debate. Throughout today's debate, we asked them 2 POIs. One being, is it fair for a market reform to succeed only after millions of people fall deeper into poverty? Team proposition never really gave us an accurate answer to this POI. They just kept on going round and round and round in circles, because they were never really sure about their stance in today's debate. Secondly, we asked them, can a hungry man wait for long-term economic benefits? And they answered no. And this simply shows how unprepared team proposition is in today's debate. Panel, trying to cause of today's debate, team proposition also did not try to access any POI, showing why they are not ready for this debate at all. Panel, with that, this is why we on team opposition should win this debate. Thank you.
Okay. Opposition reply speaker, 2 minutes, 3 seconds. Can we have reply speech from proposition, please? Your time starts. in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
My opponents kept talking about the poor, the poor, the poor. But the poor has been back then. And what changed? When fuel subsidies was still around, what really changed? Was it that Nigeria was better? Was it that Nigeria was more developed? No, they weren't. It was still the same rising of outrageous prices in the markets that kept going on. Don't come to me saying that the poor, the poor, the poor. Is it good the way our doctors are busy jackpotting to other countries? We no more have good doctors. Quack doctors is the only thing that fool in Nigeria. The poor has been said. And if we're able to remove fuel subsidy, it will really help the poor because we could create job opportunities through the provision of education and health factors. Think about it, my opponents. Nigeria really needs to remove this fuel subsidy because the poor will seriously benefit. We have seen the impact in Abia State. Because of the removal of fuel subsidy, they have been able to give the governor of Abia State a huge amount to use and develop his own state. Come to Abia State. I'm inviting you. Come to Abia State. Our roads are now good. The governor is performing a massive job. And why? Because we're able to remove fuel subsidy and keep money for other developments. Fuel subsidy isn't helping us. It is just sucking our money. And we don't need that. Because Nigeria needs to be developed right now. And we are in the future. We should start developing it. Thank you.
Okay, proposing reply speaker used 1 minute 46 seconds, and it was exciting to see how proposition and opposition made their arguments very well. I really enjoyed it. However, someone has to win. So now we are going to hand over to the judges. We are going to give them some time to accumulate the results and tell us who won this round. Thank you.
Can you all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, we'll give them 5 minutes to prepare for the next motion. Their results. The next debate is Team Benue versus Team FCT. Get ready. Team Benue, FCT, get ready. Them 5 minutes to prepare for the next. To first of all call do his own bidding before the cap will provide the result.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chigo. Let me first off commend all our speakers from Anambra State, from Abia State, the first speaker to the last speaker. You all did wonderfully well. So in light of that, I'm commending all of you. Thank you very much for that wonderful speech. From Abia State, the lead speaker, if you listen to the first comment, the cloud between Kogi State and Plateau State, I made mention of the fact that first speaker distribute tasks. That's one of your job. Speaker from Abia State, you didn't do that. You just went ahead to roll out your point and then you started talking. Good one, good, nice job, but then it brings down your point, and that's why you have to be very careful. You did well. In the same vein, you did not actually enough data. I didn't see much of statistics in your speech. Speeches like this actually, you need a lot of statistics to back up your argument. It solidifies your argument. But when you don't do that, you just speak naturally. No, you might not win a debate that way. Second speaker, third speaker, you all did wonderfully well. But then you didn't show much connectivity during the course of your speech. And the third speaker, when you're taking your POI, after answering the question, all right, you then asked again, any more question? Have you forgotten the fact that POIs are there to dissuade you? If they ask you more questions, they put you more in a tight corner. So you don't ask that. You don't even want to answer that question. But then the rule says you have to take at least one POI. That's why you're taking it. So don't ask for more questions so that they don't put you in more tighter corners. All right? So that is what I want to say about Abia. Then Anambra State, nice job, did wonderfully well. First speaker, very nice level of diction. You're very eloquent. I give that to you. Then your arguments are very substantial, very nice. But you also did not show much of data, not at all. Much of speaking, but evidence-based speaking. That's what we're talking about. You didn't show much of that in your speech. You distributed tasks accurately. That was very nice. Second speaker, good rebuttals. Third speaker, good rebuttal. Agreeing to the fact that, yes, we agree this is happening, but then this is what we're saying. You showed all of that from Anambra State, and that was actually very nice. But then, in debates, you need to mind your language. You don't want to, overstep your boundaries by telling the opponent that they are not prepared. No, you cannot say that. You have to watch your language. They are, of course, prepared. If they are not prepared, they won't be here. All right? So don't try. Leave that to the judges to say. All right? You are not the judge. You have to speak. And then you leave the floor for the judges, to pass their judgment. So in your subsequent speeches, please, you have to be very careful about that. And then you ask a question that, can a hungry man wait for a long-term policy? And then you said yes or no. That, to me, is a polar question. So anyway the answer is, it might be correct because it's a polar question. All right? If they say yes, are we not waiting in Nigeria? Are we not hungry? Are we not waiting? Yes, we are waiting because some variable compel us to wait. And so we have to wait. So it's a polar question. You don't ask a polar question. Just roll out the question, leave your opponent to do justice to the question. So that is what you should do. Return speakers, nice job from Anambra State. You weighed clashes, Anambra State, and I give that to you. Nice job there. From Abia State, you didn't weigh clashes, but then you showed the of Abia State that this is what the dividend of the first subsidy removal are brought to Abia State, and that in Nigeria can be seen vividly. Kudos to you. In all, I want to give it to Team Anambra. Thank you very much.
The
Anambra one, but when you look at it, you're like,
I don't know.
All right, so
This how we judge it is whatever you have in the paper.
All right.
How will you be judged?
From our end here, we observed that the first speaker failed to distribute the tax, especially Team Abia. We've been hammering on that. Once the first speaker comes, he distributes the task, and then the others, his teammates or her teammates, build upon those points that have been distributed to them. We discovered that Abia did not follow that. Each individual came up and marshaled their points as if they are individual instead of that sequential arrangement. For Anambra, well, they did their best distribution, following a sequential order of their points. And at the end of the whole exercise, we here, the three judges here, give it to Team Anambra. Thank you.
Okay, so Team Anambra versus Team Abia. Team Anambra won the round. Abia still have another debate tomorrow. I think tomorrow or next tomorrow to determine whether if they can win that one, that means they will have hope as to qualify as best loser. Let's hope they win their next debate. But Anambra won this one. Anambra, you have not qualified. You still have one more debate to do. If you qualify, if you win that one, that means you have qualified. But if you lost that one, that means you still have one more. You still have. You might be disqualified. So so you might be knocked out. So you still need to buckle up to win your next debate. So the next debate we have now is the FCT versus Benue State. Be ready. The next 15 minutes will start. Thank you.